How are you all doing tonight? My name is Bigbobbedboi, and welcome to the WoW Classic Season of Mastery Review. That's right, with TBC Classic, I gave it sort of a review around 6 weeks in, and I thought the video was really interesting, so Season of Mastery gets one too. I wanted to do it at 6 weeks also, but you know, shit happens, so we're doing it in more like 2 months, maybe. I don't know when this video is going out. I don't know when anything happens in my life. I want to cover how each part of Season of Mastery has been, starting from the launch, through the leveling, the gearing, everything up until right now. And then give my overall thoughts on if Season of Mastery is, well, good. You know, whether it succeeded or not, and how I feel about it going forward. So first thing, let's talk about that launch. Shit, that launch was phenomenal. Seriously, that was one of the best launches I have ever seen. I think I had to log in twice. That was it. No long queues, no server crashes, no lag. It was perfect. Just for comparison, Endwalker came out around the same time, and that was the worst launch I have ever seen. It was fucked. They said the servers would go up at 4 AM my time, then said, wait, it's going to take longer, it'll be up at 5 AM. So I set an alarm for 4:45. I happened to wake up at 4:12 and the servers were already up. I tried to log in and immediately got disconnected. So I tried to log in another 30 times or so. Finally, I got into a queue. It was 6,000 weebs deep. Then I repeatedly got disconnected. The game literally told me to go away at one point. I think I finally got on around 11 AM, and by that time I was too annoyed to play for more than a few hours. So I just played Season of Mastery. This continued for about a week, by the way. It wasn't just a one-day thing. Unbelievably fucked. Anyway, the starting areas were packed, obviously, but that was alleviated really quickly. I did, I think, like a 14-hour launch stream, although YouTube messed that up and shortened it to 11 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. But that is still up if you want to go check it out. When that stream was over, I was tired, but I had a really good time, and I think you could tell if you were there for that stream. It was really good. Server launches are always good, well, most of the time, but honestly, that was some of the most fun I've had playing WoW pretty much ever. The 40% XP bonus for quests was spot on. That didn't trivialize the leveling, but it really smoothed things out, so you can skip really annoying quests or quest lines that are just really out of the way. That flexibility in the questing experience let me do shit that I never do. I went to Stone Talon and did all the quests there on Alliance. Yeah, Stone Talon. Alliance actually have a decent number of quests there, and they were pretty cool. I had no idea. Now, once you get into like the 40s and early 50s, I didn't notice the XP bonus that much. My routes there were pretty close to normal, with the exception of Dungeon XP. Dungeon XP was insanity because of the quests. You get the 40% XP bonus and an additional bonus on top of it. Let's take Ultimate for example. I skipped some of the quests there, like the Power Stone one. That quest is absolute balls. Although Power Stone for Dreamcast is not balls, that's a great game, check it out. And there's a couple quests there that you have to do Ultimate multiple times. I skipped those. Even still, I got 40k XP from mobs for doing the full dungeon. And then I got over 70k XP from the quests. Hunter, Jesus Christ, that is a lot of XP. This put a huge emphasis on doing dungeons while leveling, and to me, that is excellent. I hate when I have to skip dungeons while leveling. This time I didn't have to do that. I couldn't find a group for like Wailing Caverns, Shadowfang Keep, and BFD. That's it. I did every other dungeon while leveling, and all of them were a lot of fun. I would actually say I had a better time leveling in Season of Mastery than I did in Original Classic. Well, I would, if it wasn't for a few things that were infuriating. Like layering. Blizzard, what in the actual fuck were you thinking with the layering? So, my server started off with like 7 or 8 layers. That was too many. The world felt pretty empty unless you were right in the middle of the pack of levelers. It probably would have been better to have like 4 or 5 layers. Maybe even 3. But in Blizzard's infinite small indie company wisdom, they just removed layers. All of it. Gone. No layers. The amount of layers read 0. And suddenly the entire world was packed to the brim and you couldn't do anything. I tried to help a friend do some quests in Westfall. I was around level 50 at the time, and it was a goddamn nightmare. There were like 6 full groups of people trying to do one quest. And it was that way across most of the world. Even the higher level zones were a pain. You might think like, well, vanilla didn't have layers, so we don't need them now, it should be fine. The problem with that is the server population caps are much higher now. The census, which isn't totally accurate, showed something like 8,000 players. Original caps were more like 3,500 if I remember right. It caused a ton of problems. People complained. Blizzard did nothing. Pretty standard shit, I guess. I kind of expected better after that launch day was so good. Even worse than the layering though, the bugs. Oh, Jesus. The bugs. Think of every bug you encountered in Classic. And every bug you encountered in TBC Classic. Put those together, then multiply by like 10, and that was what Season of Mastery was like for me. There were every kind of bug you could think of, but a lot of them were in some way pathing related. Either to mobs or my hunter pet. My pet got stuck underground or on geometry so many times. And I also had mobs do shit like this all the time. One day I couldn't go 5 minutes without some kind of bug like that. It was honestly so infuriating I was about to quit. I know some of these are not new to Season of Mastery. They were in Classic, they were in TBC Classic, but they've been reported many, many times. They've been reported on the beta, they were reported on Live Classic and TBC Classic. The fact that they are still here is unacceptable. Thankfully, I haven't seen as many issues at 60. There's still pathing issues. FD is fucked, but it's not unplayable like it was for a time when I was leveling. Alright. So, aside from the bugs and layering bullshit, what about once we make it to 60? Well, actually this part is mostly the same as Classic. Dungeons weren't really different. Dire Maul is there, bosses had their updated loot tables, and the T0.5 questline was in. But other than that, the pre-raid gearing was mostly the same. Yet, it actually did feel different. So the T0.5 bosses have some really nice pieces, and it's been a huge pain in the dick to try and get those. They've also had a huge impact on the economy since a lot of people need their T0.5. Refined Deep Rock Salt is like 100 gold on my server. This means I spend a lot of time trying to rope someone who did their questline and can summon the bosses into doing DM or UBRS. It's actually kind of annoying. But having updated loot tables is nice. This didn't change too much for Hunter specifically, other than getting a cool belt and, you know, the enchants being in early. But for some classes, it did have a pretty big impact on your gearing path. What about them raids though? Oh yes, the raids. So with Christmas, wait, what's Hunter Jesus' birthday? And New Year's, we missed some raid time. And I also missed some raids because of, you know, shit. So while I've done every boss that's out, I feel like I want to take in more of the raids before I say with certainty how I feel about them. But if I have to speak on them right now, honestly I like them. I think while most of the changes were small and didn't add a massive amount of difficulty, they do seem very in the spirit of Classic, or at least up till Wrath. None of them feel like retail boss changes. Oni specifically makes me think of, like, was it Obsidian Sanctum, where you've got drakes coming in while you're fighting a dragon, and most of the MC bosses are just a duplication of existing mechanics. But not Rag. Rag has kind of a dumb mechanic where you can only attempt it for an hour. I mean, why? They all had a similar mechanic and people didn't like it. At the very least, why not change it to just give us a certain number of attempts instead of a timer? That would have made a lot more sense. I mean, what if somebody disconnects? Like, you can't just wait on them to come back because of the timer. Like, we had a guy that he got booted from the instance for some reason. I don't know what happened. And he was out, and like it took him to his hearth. And our only options were to like have him run there and summon him, or send people back out to summon him. That's gonna waste some of our time. It's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's, yeah, that one was kind of stupid. Otherwise, yeah, I've had a lot of fun with the raids. And that kind of brings us to where Season of Mastery is right now. It's raid logging. For myself and a lot of other people, unless you're really into ranking or maybe alt leveling, it's kind of a raid log. But even before SoM released, I said I expected raids to be the focus, and raid logging would be a thing. I'm totally okay with that. But we are still going to work on an Iron Soul character. On stream, we will do it. I promise. Okay, I can't promise, but I want to do it. Now, if I think about the future of Season of Mastery, it's pretty clear it's in the raids, and I am excited for them. I'm pretty sure they said that MC specifically got these additional mechanics because there weren't any old mechanics to restore that were, you know, meaningful ones. Not every boss coming up in BWL or AQ or Nax had meaningful mechanics that got removed. So I'm pretty excited to see not only these hopefully unnerfed versions of bosses are restored, but also what they might do for some of these other bosses. I really hope that they give us a decent amount of PTR time to make sure all that goes smoothly. I don't want ridiculous bugs. I don't want ones with stupid mechanics like the 1 hour bag timer, that sort of thing. But it's Blizzard, so expect the worst. Only thing that slightly worries me in the future is consumes. With so many people raid logging, consumes could get a bit out of hand. Mat prices have already tripled to quadrupled for some things. But I mean, worst case scenario is you get together with your guild and you make your own consumes, I guess, so not a big deal. And a random positive note that I didn't know where else to place in the video. Blizz has been on fucking point with the bots. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying it, but it's true. They have been temp and perma-banning people for botting like crazy. And it's about time. It feels weird praising Blizzard, but when they do something right, I think it's important to do so. Good job, Blizz. So, is Season of Mastery good? Yeah, it's pretty good. If you enjoyed the video, hit that sub button, bell, like button. Why don't you upload more button, share button, all that other shit. I appreciate each and every one I get. This channel even has memberships now. You can check them out by clicking the join button right by the sub button. It is absolutely the best way to support the channel, and you'll get some really cool emotes. Plus, it's way better and cheaper than a Twitch sub. I stream right here on YouTube. At times. I promise I'll do one really soon. I want to work on a Soul of Iron, and I hope you'll join me. But that is going to be all for this one. I really appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all for the next one.